Hi everyone, welcome back to Taxi Talks. Today's story is a special one. It's about a passenger I'll never forget. Out of all the thousands of rides I've had, this one sticks with me. This person taught me a valuable lesson, and it's one I think you'll find interesting too. So grab a seat and let me tell you about the customer I'll never forget. Let me set the scene. It was a late evening, one of those shifts where I was just counting down the hours. I had been on the road all day and was looking forward to wrapping up. Then I got a call to picking up a passenger from a part of town that I don't usually get many requests from. I didn't think much of it at the time, but something about this ride felt different from the beginning. I arrived at the pickup spot and waited. After a minute, the passenger came out. They were quiet and didn't make eye contact as they got in. Right away, I couldn't tell they were having a tough day. They gave me the destination, a long drive across town. It wasn't my usual route, but I was happy to get the ride. I could feel a heavy mood in the air, like they were carrying something with them that wasn't just a bag. For the first few minutes, we drove in silence. Normally, I'd strike up a little small talk, but something told me to wait. After a few miles, I noticed they were looking out the window, lost in thought. So I simply said, "Long day." That was all it took. Suddenly they opened up, and the story that followed was unlike anything I'd ever heard in my taxi. They told me about what had been going on in their life, some very tough personal challenges, things that would make anyone feel down. It was clear they'd been carrying this burden alone for a while, and somehow being in a taxi with a stranger was a moment of release. They kept talking, and I just listened. Sometimes that's all someone needs. Usually, people don't get too personal, but that night, this passenger trusted me with their story. It made me realize how isolated people can feel and how sometimes they just need a safe space to talk. I find myself relating to their struggles in a way I didn't expect. I think they couldn't tell that I genuinely cared about what they were saying, and I created this rare moment of connection. Even though I didn't have all the answers, just being there and listen felt like it was making a difference. This experience reminded me that as drivers, we are not just here to get people from one place to another. Sometimes we are a sounding board, a listening ear, or even a friend for a few minutes. That's sometimes that make this job feel meaningful. As we approached their destination, I could see that they seemed a little lighter, as if talking had helped. When they got out, they thanked me with this genuine look in their eyes. They didn't say much else, but I could tell it had made a difference. It was one of those moments that made me realize how powerful small acts of kindness can be. Sometimes just being there and listening is enough to help someone, even if just for a few minutes. After they left, I sat there for a moment, just thinking. I realized that every passenger who gets in my car is a human being with a story. It made me see my job differently. I'm not just a driver. Sometimes I'm part of a stranger's life, even if just for a little while. So that's the story of the customer I'll never forget. This ride taught me that sometimes we cross paths with people for a reason. Driving a taxi has shown me so many sides of humanity. And this ride reminded me of the importance of empathy and connection. Whether you are a driver or not, I think we can all make a difference by just being there for each other. Thanks for watching Taxi Talks. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and subscribe for more. And remember, you never know when you might be the person someone will never forget. Take care and see you in the next video.